Good morning. How much did I sleep? Look at my beard. As it grew, I slept. It didn't grow, I didn't sleep. One of my friends is the sacrificed lamb that been knocked down to the bottom of the barrel over and over, and yet man still stood up, so man will be strong enough to face the one world order. Well, this one I think is for Extreme Gans 10 that I made this video because he had a question that I can possibly use my brain to answer. Just want to let everybody know I got a couple of cats. This is Purina. They love it. Purina, pure, your, we are I to laugh. Nina, 9, Nina. Nat, don't bother anyone. Kit, 10. He's not kitting anybody, but he's a kit because the kit he comes with purrs, and he makes you feel good. And he is a 10, so he's full. The cat is full. So his neck is sleek, and the holes he can run by have no problem, because he forces and he pushes and he shapes his body to go anywhere he wants. Now I'm going to answer that question on that blue light, whatever, HAARPO thing. You see, I don't know anything at all. When I do know something, it's because somebody asks me a question. I take my mind and I turn it a little bit around and I figure out what the possibilities are, and it's only what the possibilities are that is. I want to show you something else before I go on to the blue light. I never knew why I did this. Can you see this? It's like a totem pole. This is what comes out of the carpeting at Rona, Pascal's, Canadian Tire, wherever else you buy your stuff. Now I made little ones of that, and there's about 9 or 10 of them, and they go like in between each other, and they spin. And every time they spin, each one spins at a different speed at a different time of the day, creating a different image. Now on to the HAARPO, or the HAPI, or the Groucho Marx, or the HAARPO entertainment of the industries of the opera singer, the opera singer who wins the freedom of all men with her voice because she knows what she says, because she only says and answers what she understands to hear, but she asks first to better understand. Anyways, let us get back to Mars. 13.5 years to travel to Mars, no gasoline, so how did they make it there? By the light of the sun? So why can't we drive our cars by the light of the sun? 13.5 years to get there, they haven't even been working on the project that long, so therefore my understanding is they are on what Sean FM would call the dark side of the moon. That little light that travels in the front is just their carrier of protection, just in case another nation should come up, there would be war on the moon. That would be quite crazy, because war on the moon would equal to war on the moon, the football player for the Houston Oilers. And the Oilers had the only way to win was not to kill anybody, but to knock them down and grab the ball and run into the end of the zone, for it wasn't any of the end of anything. It was just a zone where you score the points and you make an action, you get the reaction and you number it up, 20 points scored. So therefore, I believe they're on the moon, on the dark side of the moon, because everybody knows there's an atmosphere on the moon. Otherwise, the moon would shine like a nickel. It would shine like a star, and it would spread out so wide you wouldn't be able to look direct. So the atmosphere is holding in those rays. So if you take some plastic and throw it on the moon to trap in the heat of the sun and melt a little bit of the water, there goes the first plant of evolution of the moon, of the brighter side of the moon, and the brighter side of man, who figures out that if Annabelle the cow may bell, May 7th, and May is always the month of flowers, if the white purity of the limousine cow can jump over the moon, then therefore, when we are children, to remember as adults, we can go on the moon. It just takes a little bit of time to plant an evolution, and within a not far off period of time, let's call it 100 years, we can actually be there, and we should have been there already because 50 years have gone by. The golden eagle has picked up and flown away because no one wanted to share the truth, because somebody sharing the truth costs somebody else money, and everybody wants to know. They all want to be a seagull. Steve Van Seagal, but he was Saint Stephen, he was even, and he saw well, and he wasn't gullible, and he understood, but he couldn't say anything, because if we speak the truth, they tie us up, they attach us, they throw it away. But don't anybody worry for one world order. It's going to end by 2012, because the one world order that is coming in, it's collecting of the 52 cards from the deck, he's picking up the cards from the ground, he's bringing us back. For those who have completed the cycle, who understand the difference, for those who are going to learn purgatory of the difference, from the matrix that comes in. It's mirror, mirror on the wall all day long until you learn the truth of who you are and the truth of what life is all about. So then I go ahead and I say, the American, then the people who will take one world over and live the first time coming up soon, they will say, stay in the house, we will protect you. But from who? U.S. I mean us. You're going to protect us from us? Now, if you want to know what the Illuminati is, I have no idea. Let's look at the word. E, for E-world. L, land. U-M, illumin, illumin, to light up. Not, N-A-T, nat, do not light up. The Z, light up a little bit. The N, at, equals A-T, which is angel transmission. We have the Z and the I could be for Zion, but you don't need to put the I on because you know you're already on. Or it can be equal to Z, can equal 2 plus 1, that equals 3, which is the 3 stories. And as I look away from everyone, I am the I robot, for I am fleshy and I am real. Now, the lights in the sky, well, that's pretty easy. Those are satellites. They light them up and they spark them up in any direction they feel pleased to do. Therefore, what people see and what they will say is what man will believe, or think to believe, or what they want us to believe, and what will be believed. But anyways, because I've been so far and so deep to so many of these things, the only thing I want is that if anything is bad to happen for a little short period of time, I want to be with my friends, because it's not going to happen for a long time, and we can play games, Monopoly and Sorry. Monopoly and Sorry, the game of money. It'll take all the properties back, and everybody's sorry. And then when they have no one to fight anymore, because we're all in one order, what do they do next? They must make an army to protect themselves, not to keep the order towards themselves and away from us, because everybody knows in the year of the 1500s that everybody was against each other, and the king did. Because the king wasn't always the nicest king, and the minute he wasn't nice, he had an enemy. And you make enough enemies, you have more soldiers against you than you do for you. And if you tell a lie to your soldier, you lose a soldier. But the opposition is only working on the truth of what they see of the matter of the fact is, and the reason of all of everything that we're here is because the Lord of truth, and the only way to know the religion is to follow the truth. So therefore, the first of all religions is the understanding of what the word of their religion to be, whatever it means. If it's Jewish, equals truth. If it's Arab, it equals truth. If it's Indian, it equals truth. Because God is truth, and that's why he starts with a big T. And if you look at that special kind of T, like the angles on it, Jesus died on the other cross in the small T. Therefore, telling us that God is the big T, and Jesus was the little T, and we're just the T alike. Tia Maria, Mary of the good, of the bringing of the man of the Lord, to continue on to search for the answers of life. Thank you for now. Do not be afraid, but be afraid of those who are not your neighbors. For I am one of your friends, and if this time comes up, for the one we asked about you, so if we stick together and come with each other, no one can do anything, because then if they want to shoot, then they're wrong and it goes into the media. So just don't move for the guns and let them shoot. Then they will become the All-American, like the All-Mang in French would be German, and Mang in French. Therefore, the U.S., us, meaning, will become them who was in 1942. 1942 equals the number of man. Therefore, man is fighting himself for the reason of the cash. Cash me out. I don't need any cash. My mother runs after me for the cash. I tell her I smoke the hash with the cash. I dash the cash, and I crash the car, and I expense the cash. Who cares about the cash? The only thing you want to care about the cash is when you go somewhere and it's yours. It's your cash and nobody else's cash. When it's time to get paid on the first day, you got to get your cash. And it's better to pay on Wednesday than the fullest, because you have one day in case you can't get it back on Thursday. Friday's a rush, and no one wants to be a rush in anything. Okay, so we end it for now. I like to listen to the show and